how you want to approach beginning your takeoff. Do you start by going, one whole page at a time and calculating everything on a single page, or do you focus, on some different type of method?
Welcome to the ProfitDig construction show. My name is Chris Work. I'm here with Jeff Givens, Jeff Spencer, producer Jerry Work this evening.
Hello.
How is everybody? How we doing?
Doing lovely.
Great.
Awesome. Fantastic. Well, as always, trying to bring you the best content, some hot tips or quick tips as we like to call them for you guys getting started. I'm going to turn the table over to you. Oh, hey, while you're here, though, go ahead and like the channel, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and like the videos, all the above. Guys, great to see you.
You too, man. Jeff Spencer, you and I were looking through these set of drawings, and we were talking about how you want to approach beginning your takeoff. Do you start by going, one whole page at a time and calculating everything on a single page, or do you focus, on some different type of method?
Well, everybody has different approaches. What I like to do is, first thing I do is go in and look at existing conditions and demolition. Whether you're a GC bidding on the whole project or you're a sub, there still may be a scope of your work that's going to have demo in it. And if you're a sub, more than likely, if he knows that you are bidding the GC you're bidding to, if he knows you're bidding a certain part of this job, he's already looked at the demolition. He's going to have it included in your scope whether you know it or not. So It's good to go ahead and be proactive and find out if you have any kind of work. And if not, if it's something that's out of your wheelhouse, then go ahead and exclude any demolition. Put it in your exclusions, qualifications.
And so these drawings are real nice, and they specifically call out
Every item has to be
every item that requires demolition.
Right.
But
you don't always have that either. You're going to have to kind of look at it and see.
So you just take your best guess at it, or it never hurts to follow up with?
No, they'll always give you like something like may say typical. Like this one even says typical. It says demolish fencing within project limits. Typical. So they kind of give you a good outline of all the fencing and stuff here. But it never hurts to make a job site visit.
That's right. I was going to say, why not drive out there and take a look?
Yeah, that fence, that may be, 20-foot high chain link fence.
That changes things.
It may be a little goat fence. You never know.
Right.
It may take a little more labor and a little more effort to get it down.
Yep.
This particular job has several sinkholes and stuff you had to address. A pond had to be filled in. And there again, it gives you typicals. So you never really know without looking at it, these are some pretty big areas right here. How deep are those sinkholes?
Yeah.
What's it going to take? So you really need to ask for bore reports, bore samples to see if they core drilled it, to see exactly what you're dealing with here, how much area you got to do. Just because it shows this area right here, when you get done, that area may be that wide. It may be 40, 50 feet deep. You never know until you actually get there and start working on it.
Right.
But qualify your bid. Like, hey, these sinkholes, I'm planning on going down X amount of feet, planning on using X amount of rock, planning on, qualify your bid. Say, this is anything other than what I've priced right here will have to be addressed in a change order. I'm going at this point as far as I'm going.
Sure.
Now, the more information they give you, then of course, the more you can go. But if you don't have that information, qualify your bid. Don't just say, hey, I'm going to do these sinkhole repairs for X amount of dollars, and it may take you 2 or 3 times that much to do it.
Yeah. Don't be afraid. Right. Because you're probably not the only contractor who's doing that.
Right. So. And especially when it comes to sinkholes, it's kind of like a toss-up. It's who knows the right answer. 9 times out of 10, it's not going to be right until you get in there and start.
Toss-up is expensive construction.
Right. This is
site layout.
Site layout. Your overview, your site layout here. This is what the project's supposed to look like when it's complete. A lot of times there's some notes on there. They put pages in your plans for a purpose. Sometimes in your scope of work, all your notes may not be there. They may be on another page. So it's always good to look over everything, look at a quick glance to try to figure out. Like this one right here, for instance, gives you your site data. You know, this particular project here is 88 acres, almost 89 acres. Building setbacks, gives you the address of the site. But I mean, there's a lot of information there that you may need, you know, from time to time. So, you know, don't just overlook it. Make sure there's nothing on there that's going to pertain to you.
So I noticed they gave you the back to back. They gave you the before and the after.
Right.
Yeah.
Right off the bat,
Right.
high level.
Yeah. Now this right here, I didn't really print off any. This is a job that's already been completed. I didn't bring any grading drawings with me because I didn't bid on the grading on this project. Just the utilities.
But there was a set of plans here.
Oh yeah, there
You
was.
just removed them before you
Right.
came tonight.
Right.
All right.
So this is what I was looking at, what I was interested in. There's also another portion I didn't bring. There's a city portion of water line that had to be relocated and added. It was about a mile long of it, close to it. First thing you do when you start your takeoff, take your scale, always check your scale that they give you on your drawings and make sure it is right, because sometimes your digitizers will skew drawings, or you got it on a fit to page, and so it may bring your drawings out to be a different scale than what they're supposed to be. So check your legend first thing, make sure that your drawings are to scale before you ever start. Next.
And even note it on your sheets, right, as you're going through, because I mean, obviously, as the the depth changes from the drawings, so maybe go ahead and just make a note so you don't even have to make the
Right.
mistake of miscalculating that, or, misreading it rather.
Right. And you was asking me a while ago about page by page or item by item. Generally, what I like to do is I like to take off my deepest, excuse
Your
me.
deepest?
My deepest. My deepest utility first. So I generally start with my sanitary sewer, because it's going to be the one, and I'll tell you why I do that. It's got to go in regardless. It's going to be your deepest utility. You're going to have utility crossings. Your other utilities are going to cross it. So at that point, you may have sewer crossing, just say right here on this for instance. Well, at that point, I may have to figure in extra fittings, because that sewer could be on the same elevation as what my water line is.
So you got to go under it.
So I've got to take my water line under it or over it, whichever one works the best. Sure. But more than likely, you're going to go under it, which there again requires fittings. It requires concrete for reverse kickers, rotting material. And just because you're not bidding on a storm drain or doing the grade work, you need to look at the storm as well, because there's going to be conflicts from where you cross the storm, and you may have the same thing. So you may not think you need to print off the grading and drainage drawings, but if there's going to be issues where you cross, you need to print them off and look at them, because a job like this, like I said, it was over a mile worth of pipe, and you may have several conflicts there, several fittings, and it's a big pipe, 10-inch pipe. Those duct line fittings aren't cheap, and concrete's not cheap. Money. And it can get you heading the wrong direction in a pretty big hurry.
One thing I've learned just from the time I've known you, which has been my whole life,
pretty much, yeah.
But in terms of your experience in construction, if you get your head in the wrong place in construction, it will screw you up, man.
It sure will.
It will screw you over. Okay.
Yeah.
Jeff, continue.
It will sneak up.
I'm scared already.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Yeah, what you should think about, now we're talking about size. It's a sizable job here.
Yeah.
In construction.
Well, you got almost a million square foot
A
building.
million square foot building, yeah. But even if I'm just getting started, and I'm just doing some grade work, or I'm just running some small residential, project, putting in an underground utility, small mistakes adds up.
It adds up.
Really big.
Yeah.
Yeah, quickly.
You think, well, there's one, that's no big deal. And there's two, well, that's okay. Third one, like, man, what's going on?
Yeah.
By the fourth or fifth one, it's getting in your pocket.
Right. Yeah.
So, but anyway, back to what we was talking about on preferences.
My bad.
No, you're good, buddy. Of how to take off a job. All right, that page we just come through, that was the overall utility plan. as far as the fire line and domestic water. I'll generally do a quick overview, a takeoff of my main trunk line, and I write that down.
Okay.
All right, so then I come in here, you can see I got some figures right here, but what I like to do is like, if I got 10-inch pipe, I'll write like 10-inch pipe. This is a little different. I generally like draw a line up under it and like 10-inch PVC, and I put my quantities down here and then total them up. 8-inch PVC line, quantities, total them up. 6-inch lines, fire hydrants, 45s, T's, PIVs, any kind of fittings that I may need is going to be listed out there, and then I'm going to total them. And there's multiple pages to this project. So you got a max line here. I go next sheet. I take off that max line, do the same thing. After I get through my 3 or 4 sheets, I go back and total everything up. That gives me my total quantities. I go back and look at my rough, takeoff on the main overview. Mm-hmm. If I got some discrepancy, this helps me go back and find where it's at.
Identify it quickly.
Yeah, I can figure out, that, hey, I missed something on this page, I missed something on the next page, whatever it may be. But this way it locks in my takeoff. Just because I got to take off the whole job written down, I don't know what area I made a mistake on. And so if I can figure that out, there may be something else there I need to look at. Why did I make that mistake? Right. What else did I not see? Right. So I need to go back and take this one page that's off and slow down and see what's going on. And as we talked about a while ago, conflict with existing or other utilities like storm drain, water, whatever it may be. I don't know if you can see this on camera or not, but I kind of drew like an end view of your pipe that you may come in conflict with, and it's on the same elevation. This is what I was talking about. You got a 45 down, 45 over, 45 up, and then 45 back out. So you got to have reverse kickers that you got to key in to your trenches with all thread rods tying to these 45s to hold them in place. Mm-hmm. And your bottom 45s got to have kickers on them as well, or thrust blocks, whatever you want to call them, to keep them from blowing it.
Mm-hmm. And that's because there's just so much pressure when it hits it.
Right.
And I like how you've illustrated that on the sheet. Do you normally do that during the bidding process while you're going over things? If you're like, hey, you know what? Just a friendly reminder, well, it didn't really apply here, I guess. But on the previous sheet, this was for demonstration purposes, but would you do that on like when you're going over your plans?
Sometimes,
if you see something, would you like
sometimes I will kind of sketch it out just to make sure I've got everything covered, and it will help me, to look back and say, well, I just had one of these issues a minute ago, so right. I need basically the same quantities, for this next.
To do it again.
Now, if the pipe you come in counter with is twice as big, then
changes things.
It changes things. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, it definitely, is something you need to look at, because just because on topographical view and you're looking down through here doesn't mean there's going to be conflicts that's not shown on the drawings. Sure. So you kind of got to look at all aspects of the job from start to finish, from grading to in storm drainage, all the way through sanitary, water, fire line, whatever other utilities you have, gas lines could be issue, fiber optic, who knows what all's going in, but there's going to be encounters that you're going to have to deal with. And if they're existing, gas line, fiber optic, any kind of telephone company you work with, power company,
got to go under them.
You got to go under them, because it's rare that you can get them to come out and move their line.
Mm-hmm. You almost wouldn't even ask.
Right.
I'd say so.
Mm-hmm. We got about 30 seconds left in this one.
Oh, well, let's wrap it up here, guys. We'll come back. Yeah, it has been fun. Jeez.
Guys, I know we're not the best in the world at talking and putting stuff together, but hope this is good information that will help you out.
Yeah, don't believe him. Yeah. Tell you what, if you have any doubt, just check us out at ProfitDig.com.
Yeah.
We offer an awesome construction bidding application. It's only $99 a month. It can help you out when putting your bids together, speed up the process, make you more efficient and effective. Jeff Gibbons, thanks as always.
Appreciate it, guys.
Jeff Spencer.
Thank you, man.
See y'all next time.
See y'all.
Later.